excited to talk hockey because this is great. And DJ's been right on a lot of things here when it comes to the Oiler-Florida Panther matchup. This may not be what a lot of people think it is.
I was sort of hoping that you'd come on and be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
So I wrote down in my notes. Let's see, because I was trying to articulate it to the boys before the show, and I did it as poorly as I just did to Jackie. But when I wrote it down in a sentence, it made a lot more sense, which was Panthers super aggressive forecheck, aggressive with keeping the puck in the zone, will turn the puck over at offensive blue line. Isn't that a McDavid starter pistol?
Yeah, it is. And it's literally that all three zones. The one thing that can beat pressure is movement and speed. And Edmonton has that in spades. So for the Florida Panthers to be successful in this series, they need to hem the Oilers in. They've done it the entire playoffs. They're aggressive all over the offensive zone. On the forecheck, they'll hold the blue line. They'll be aggressive in the offensive zone, not letting teams get out. You saw it against the Rangers. When the Rangers finally get out of the zone, Zibanejad, Kreider, Panarin, they're tired, and they go for a change. So there's no offense, but the way you beat offense is you get those little puck races. You flip to space. You get the puck out over behind the defense of the Florida Panthers, and then you have those puck races between the blue lines. That's what the Edmonton Oilers do. The Edmonton Oilers beat you with speed and skill. I don't know if people are saying, well, Edmonton's got no chance. They do, because the things they do extremely well. And when you talk about the power play, Florida Panthers penalty kill second. In killing penalties, they gave up one against the talented New York Rangers. But they haven't played? Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the power play. The one thing about the Edmonton Oilers power play, they got 5 guys. They all can score. They all move a puck. They all know where everybody is going to be, and they move constantly. Again, the way to beat pressure is with movement. I think that there's maybe not the easiest path for the Florida Panthers as some people are prognosticating.
So do they change at all what they do? Like, do you get to the Cup Final and maybe be a little more cautious or less aggressive? It sounds crazy to say because being so aggressive has frustrated so many good teams, but you always talk about, like, when you're playing Connor McDavid, the defending has to happen even when you have the puck, and maybe like Dallas treated him like he was a number one center instead of treating him like he was Connor McDavid. Do the Panthers adjust how they've gone about their business just because they're playing the Oilers?
They can't and they won't. The Florida Panthers know how to play one way. That's it. They play hard, they play aggressive, and they'll give you holes as long as they continue to play their way. And I go back to that overtime game-winning goal off the Wenberg tip, off the face-off, and everybody, we talked about the Oliver Ekman-Larsson leaving. And so I talked to their coaches, and they said, no, he's got to go. We're aggressive, and we're going to continue to be aggressive even if we leave holes and openings in behind. That's okay when you're doing it to Alex Wenberg. You cannot do that to Connor McDavid, period. End. Like, when Connor McDavid is on the ice, if I'm in the Florida Panthers coaching room, I am telling them when Connor McDavid is on the ice, we play different. We are going to stay above McDavid. We're going to stay near McDavid. We are going to be close to McDavid, even when we have the puck. That means our third guy is high when McDavid's on the ice. Even when we have the puck, we're not going to dive in. We're not attacking the net. That third forward's got to be high, because if you can get off even with Connor McDavid on the ice after he leaves his shift and he has not scored, you won. And so for the Florida Panthers to get away with Connor McDavid not getting goals is the same as scoring against the other lines. I do think that is going to be the biggest key of this series. A big surprise, it's Connor McDavid. And you saw him in the early part of this playoffs. I don't know if he really got his mojo going until later in this playoffs. And now he is absolutely elite. When he touches the puck, something's going to happen. And Florida has not seen Connor McDavid. They've seen great teams. They've seen the Boston Bruins and the New York Rangers are very, very good teams, but they don't have the skill level of a Connor McDavid.
But, I mean, the Panthers obviously have Barkov, who we can assume is going to be in McDavid's pocket for the entirety of this series as best he can. Is he the one guy in the league that is capable of neutralizing or coming close to neutralizing Connor McDavid over the course of a 7-game series?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting matchup because one thing Barkov does, and you've been watching a lot of film these last few days, is his ability to back check through the neutral zone. Even when you think you are escaped from Barkov's pressure, he's there by the time you reach the net. The other guy I think they're going to have to double up on is the defenseman Forsling. Like Gus Forsling, I've sung his praises every time on this show. I think when you see Forsling and Barkov are going to have to team up one from the front, one from the back, and trying to pressure McDavid. And I do think Gus Forthling, he is going to be the most unsung player. I know you guys had your lists, and he was very high, as he should be. He is going to have to be one of the Panthers, if not the Panthers' best player to win this series. He's going to have to be damn close, because the one thing he does is he can close gaps. And watch him defend. And most defensemen are skating backwards as they defend. Watch the Florida Panthers defensemen. Florida Panthers defensemen skate forward. We call it surfing up. So they come up to meet you, and then they skate forward alongside of you, which keeps your speed up. So look for Forsling to skate forward instead of backwards defending McDavid, because you can't. You can't skate backwards.
Forward.
I mean, he's scored so many big goals already.
I'm excited.
Do you buy into, I mean, we've talked to you every round, and it seems that you've increasingly bought into and believed the way the Oilers have defended. You are not a Stu guy at the beginning of the postseason. I think you love the way that Stu's playing right now. Do you buy into everything that's happening behind McDavid and Draisaitl and the Nuge?
I do, and it starts with their defense and their ability for Ekholm and Bouchard to get the puck up the ice, and they're going to have to be elite. Another key matchup in this series is the heavy forechecking pressure of the Florida Panthers against the defensemen and their ability to move the puck quickly for the Edmonton Oilers. Huge key in this series. If Edmonton can't get the puck out, if they get trapped behind the goal line, this series could be dangerous. It could be over in a hurry. If they can move the puck quickly, I think they'll be okay. Skinner has been fantastic. Night and day from what you saw in the first round, and you gave up the questionable goals, and it's going to be Pickard. By the way, Pickard's not carrying him to the Stanley Cup. Sorry, he's not. So Skinner has to be the guy. The question I have, Skinner's still young. This is a brand new atmosphere. There's a lot of pressure, and going into Florida for these first two games, you're really going to see, can he handle that pressure cooker? Because it's different. It's different. The media is different. The feel at the rink is different. Your routines are different. The timelines are different. Everything, the pomp and circumstances are there. Can Skinner answer that? If he can, this series could go very long. This could be a 6 or 7 game series if Skinner can show that, because the Edmonton Oilers have defended better than anybody expected them to over the last round, but especially against Dallas. It's something you never see out of Edmonton that you've now seen. So yeah, I think they can defend. It's, can they handle that constant pressure in the blue paint? And Tkachuk's going to have to walk the fine line, man. Can he get to the blue paint and disrupt the Oilers, or is he going to sit in the penalty box? Because that line, once you cross it, you're in trouble. You might as well put a number up on the board when you sit in the box. So Florida's going to have to be careful, be physical, but stay out of the box.
A lot's being made out of the fact that Florida has been here. They were here last year. Edmonton has never been to this stage. How much do you see that actually having an impact on this series?
I don't know. These guys have played in big games. You've got guys that played in World Championships, World Cups. You've played World Juniors. They're big stages. I think these guys being in the NHL, they're all big stages. The media will be different, and some of the things surrounding. But once the puck drops, that is going to show up most in the first 10 minutes of Game 1, where you're going to see guys terrified on both teams, whether you've been there or not. You're going to see really tentative play. You're going to see a lot of dumped pucks in that first 10 minutes. You're going to see a lot of apprehension. Guys don't want to make mistakes in that first 10 minutes, and then you're going to ease into the game. And by Game 2, you're just playing hockey. So I do think early, Game 1, I think it's important. But the other thing to remember is, you lose Game 1, you lose Game 1. You don't lose 7 games all at once, or you don't lose 4 games all at once. You lose 1. The mindset is different. These teams, I don't think that's going to be a big factor. If anything, it'll play into Edmonton's favor because they're starting off on the road. They won't have that pressure of that home crowd right away. And by the time they get home, if they come back 1-1 and they come back into Edmonton 1-1, look out, because that home ice advantage in Edmonton is going to be huge.
Are these harder matchups for these teams than previous opponents? Like, it's not always. I think that anyone would have said that either a Vegas or a Dallas would be the most difficult team that you could face in the postseason. Edmonton somehow beats Dallas in 6. Are the Panthers an easier, harder matchup for them, and vice versa?
Really hard for the Edmonton Oilers. This is the toughest test for the Oilers because of the way they play. And you go back to the regular season, they lost 5-1 and 5-3 to the Panthers during the regular season. Having said that, it was before January 1st, before the Oilers really became the Oilers that we know now and kind of settled into their groove behind Knobloch. But they struggled with this team. They struggled with this style of play. Their power play went 0 for 5 against the Panthers during the regular season. So all of those telltale signs, mean nothing. It is their toughest opponent, but it's only because of the pressure and the way that Florida is constantly in your face. But McDavid's not worried about that. He can get by any player on that ice. His speed can blow any of these guys away. So that isn't going to be a problem. It's when you get deeper in the lineup, when you get to the Edmonton Oilers bottom six, will it affect them? On the other side of the puck, Florida's played better teams. Like I said, I think the Rangers are a better team than the Edmonton Oilers, but they don't have better players than the Edmonton Oilers. They have not played Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. When you see the ability for Leon Draisaitl to put up points and score goals from literally anywhere on the ice, that could be a problem for Florida. Rangers didn't have that offensive, but they didn't put up the numbers offensively because they couldn't get to the inside. Edmonton doesn't need to get to the inside. Bouchard can let a bomb go from the top, and Draisaitl can score from the goal line along the board. So I don't think it's as important for Edmonton to get to the inside. So I think it's a unique matchup for Florida, something they haven't seen. So it is different. Not the best team, but the best players, certainly.
We went through our top 10 lists earlier in the show, and obviously there is a ton of awesome talent at the top in this series. But is there an off the beaten path player or matchup that you're looking at that you think could make a real impact on the series?
Yeah, there's a couple. For Edmonton, I think Darnell Nurse has to defend better than he's defended in this series. I think he's going to be a key. I think Evan Bouchard has really shown that he's taken strides, and Ekholm are going to be the guys that are very important. Nurse is going to have to be able to get the puck out, and he's also going to have to be there to answer the physical bell, because that's going to be rung too. But looking for Holloway with the Edmonton Oilers. He's a guy that he plays big minutes. He can defend. He can get, I tell you what, the secondary offense, look out for Holloway. He's the name that I'm going to say is the guy that you go, oh shit, he got another goal in this series. So I like him for the Oilers. And on the other side, we talked about Lundell for Florida the other day. Anton Lundell is another guy that you're good, honest player that plays the right way. He is going to have to be one of those guys you probably won't notice at the end of the game, but when you look at the score sheet, he won't be minus. And he's going to be a guy that's steady up the middle of the ice. He plays the right way. And again, I predict he's going to get a big goal in this series too. So those are the two dark horses I really like. And another guy I have to say is the old Arizona Coyote, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I've been just thrilled watching him play. When he left Arizona years ago, people said he was washed up. Can't play. Oliver can't play. Well, the problem was Oliver played on a bad team, for one, and two, he had to play incredibly big minutes. It wasn't his role. Now he's got a role, and he's playing incredibly well defensively, second power play. He's another guy that when he's out there, you just have this calm of everything's going to be okay. So there are some unsung heroes too, because everybody will be talking about, Barkov and McDavid, but there are the guys down the lineup that are going to be the big difference in this series that every day we're going to talk about and go, oh shit, it's that guy today. It's that guy today. And that's what wins Stanley Cups. It's Nazem Kadri. It wasn't McKinnon. So you'll wait. I'm excited to see whose story is going to be written during these playoffs.
I know he's been cooked enough these playoffs, and I don't want to pile on, but the fact that we even have to refer to Darnell Nurse as a potential dark horse when he's making $9+ billion is kind of an indictment of Darnell Nurse.
Yeah, I feel bad for the guy. I mean, his numbers have been just horrific during this series. It's too bad. Like, he's a better player than that. Hopefully, for the Oilers fans, he needs to be a better player. He needs to move the puck quicker. He needs to defend with his stick better. And by God, he's got to be more physical. Because when you look up and down that lineup, the Florida Panthers, they have more hit. Like, you look at hits per game, they have 42 and a half hits per game. Dallas had 25. I mean, it's almost double. It's a different series than playing against Dallas. So they better be ready for a little bit more of those that get gritty in corner battles than they had against the Dallas Stars.
You have the Panthers winning this series?
I do. I know, DJ. I'm sorry. I just do. But here's the thing, and here's what troubles me. So you open up the Athletic today, and they had all the management and coaches, and everybody's Florida. And you talk about it. Torey Lovello, the manager of the Diamondbacks, took the Diamondbacks to the World Series, and
Boston
he did
Red
it
Sox
because
guy.
he said his team was
Buffalo
connected.
Bison's guy.
Oh,
there you go. He's connected, and a connected team is a dangerous team. And he said that through the entire playoffs. They weren't the best team. They were the most connected team. And you heard what Jackie Redmond had to say about the Edmonton Oilers. Don't count out a team that believes in the guy sitting next to him. That accountability in the room, coaches can't manufacture that. That has to come from the players. And when you're playing for the guy next to you, not just the guy sitting in your seat, lot of good things can happen. So I don't want to count the Oilers out. I'm afraid the series is going to go longer than I want it to, because DJ, as we both know, will be flying for this. So I'm hoping for 4 games. Anybody don't care. 2 plane rides and I'm home. I'm not looking forward to a 7-game series back and forth, 2,500 miles.
That's the difference between the media and people watching at home. I've done both. We've all done both. You sitting at home on the couch, you want the series to go 7 games every single time. If you're working it and you're flying it, you're like, just get me the fuck out of here. I'm done.
Home. You should sit in the truck at ESPN, and I'm not kidding. Like, no one, and this behind the curtain, no one gives a shit. No one cares who wins. I mean, there might be one guy running a tape machine for replay going, yeah, I'm from that city. I want him to win. Most guys could care less. They are all sitting there rooting. Literally, that third period when it's about to wrap up, people are rooting that they're on their phones, booking their flights. They want to go home. These guys have been traveling since round 1. I'm just traveling in the last round. Like, they're insane. Like, go home. So yeah, and the travel is just horseshit. Like, it's horseshit. You can't get there. And dressing, like, DJ's gone. Like, it's 40 degrees at night. It's 104 in Arizona today. What do I bring to 40 degrees? And then the next day it's 98 with humidity. Like, literally, how do you pack for that? Potentially 18 days. How many underwear do you bring on an 18-day trip? Is it 6 and you wear them 3 times, inside, outside, upside down?
Oh, you got to pack like you're shitting your pants every single day. That's
it's
the
Florida.
rule of packing.
And it's Florida because it's humidity. So you got 1 pair in the morning and then you shower and you got another pair. So what, I got 36 pairs of underwear?
Yeah.
Like, buddy, like a whole suitcase. I'll bring the whole bag, extra bag. Check
Amazon like a 36 pack when you get to the hotel and leave it behind like Allen Iverson.
Actually, no, that's not a bad idea. I may do that, especially in Florida. Like, you could go through 3 a day easy.
36
DJ,
pairs of underwear is how I watch one Oilers game, my guy.
At home. Yeah.
See, that's the other part. If you're a
Both
fan
sides.
too, you're on the edge of your seat. I just want good hockey. I want really good hockey. I want to see both of these teams excel and do the things they do well and do them the best that they possibly can. I want to see Connor McDavid blow up. I want to see him be amazing, and I want to see how the Florida Panthers are going to defend that. I want to see the net front in front of Skinner, and I want to see the Oilers defense standing tall against Kachuk and Verhaeghe, and I want to see the best of the best. Let's see them battle it out. Let's see a good series. I don't want to see Skinner give up a softie from the red line. I don't want to see that. I want to see them all playing their best, and then the best team wins. That's what I'm hoping for.
Are you generally free during the days? During this?
I mean, yeah, on off days, yes. Game days are tight. Game days are tight. They do stuff like they're busy. Non-game days, buddy, let's go. I'm in. Let's go.
Friday's
DJ.
going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I am not rollerblading in Edmonton though.
Oh, I was going to say, and I say that as someone who's not really drinking these days, but I'm like, we're going to rollerblade and drink Diet Coke.
Yeah, well, sure. And by the way, because the team that I worked for traveled to Edmonton several times over the last 25 years, I might know a few places that we might want to pop in and say hi. So just saying, they might not be some of your, like, I don't know. We'll have to see what your taste is. I don't know if you're a bougie sushi guy or if you can sit down and get to a shady little sports bar. So
for some reason, I'm thinking I'm going to fit in everywhere in Edmonton. I'm going to go walk in there, get a hero's welcome. They're just going to smell it on me. They're going to be like, that an oil man?
The Moss Pit is going to be DJ's homeland. Like, can you see him on the Moss Pit? I don't know. Are you going to get tickets are you going to get your press pass, get into the games?
So
like, you should go to the Moss Pit.
I need to hit up the NHL, and I probably should grab a credential for some stuff if I want to go to it. I know that we're way past applying for credentials deadline, but we'll see if I can maybe
you got
around.
Hookups. You got guys that can happen. Yeah, because you want to be there. And I do want to see you on the Moss Pit when they cut to a goal and you're bumping
would
right
be the best moment of my life.
I'm planning on going to one of the games with tickets. We'll see if we have friends who can make that happen. And then maybe for the other one, Moss Pit. But I'm told that the Moss Pit is a young man's game.
Yeah, I think you can handle it. DJ, I got all complete faith in you getting through the Moss Pit. I'm excited as hell. Like that, I might jump out of the truck because I'm in the truck and I cannot leave. By the way, porta potty heaven. I'll do a show from the porta potties. Like ESPN, I'm in a truck and I have porta potties at 110 in Florida. It's just miserable with humidity. It's awful. After day 6, you're sitting in the porta potty. We did that in Vegas, in the Vegas parking lot at 110 by day 5. By game 6, you're like, oh my God, buddy. Like, please let us go inside. Please let us go inside. And they don't. So I hope we hook up, DJ. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Okay, yeah, I'm very, very excited. And everybody, if you're watching this for the first time or whatever, I hope you've been watching it a million times, but subscribe because we got more stuff coming. I'll be in Edmonton. Petey will be in Edmonton. We're going to be doing streams for every Stanley Cup Final game. So much stuff coming. Petey, thank you so much for talking to us. We always appreciate it. You are so much smarter than both of us.
We all silly like the mayor.